Hey, I assume you're already recording.
Correct.
All right.
Oh, good.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Podcast, episode 10. Finally hit double figures. We're
Hey.
free,
Woo.
sometimes more, but not quite yet. Friends get together every week to talk about the latest in gaming news. As always, joined here by Kyle
Hello.
and Stuart.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Is
Wow.
this thing on? Hello.
Hey, you.
It's the
Hey.
introduction, guys. But hey, guys, what have you been up to in the past week? Let's go. Starting with Stu because he normally hosts on the co.
Oh, thanks. I've just been playing Elden Ring and more badminton matches, but we're not interested in that.
Yeah, we don't talk about
We're
sports.
just interested in Elden Ring. Just Elden Ring. Elden Ring is life. And work. Work has been work. Elden Ring has been Elden Ring. Elden Ring's been fantastic, and I still haven't finished it. I'm tempted to talk about Elden Ring even more, but I'll wait for Kyle to inevitably tell us that he's also been playing Elden Ring to do so. So I'm happy to pass it over.
All right, I guess let's moving on to Kyle. How you been, bro?
I've been good. I haven't really been up to much, to be honest. I don't know what I've done since last week. I think I've just been working and sleeping, and that's probably it. But yeah, I've literally played Elden Ring for. It's shameful, but like in the past
Thank God you said that.
week, I think I've played it for about an hour, and that was it.
Oh, disappointing.
I've just
Oh,
been
no
busy.
way.
Life,
You just
yeah,
sit
life's
there and
coming
you
at
just
you.
waste time, and all of a sudden it's like midnight. You're like, oh, okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do it frequently, but mainly when I'm playing Elden Ring. It's fantastic. What you been doing, Parky? Let us be
Yeah,
regaled by
I've
your
been
stories.
working as well. Work, college. Well, actually, I've been off college because it's been Easter break, so I've had some extra time to play Elden Ring.
Oh, good. Good.
But
Perfect.
that has been it. Yeah, it's been good times. I assume by all of us saying that we've all been playing Elden Ring more.
You were just still playing Elden Ring. I am interested to know where you're at, Parky.
I have just seen. Is it Faya? Faya? That weird
Hey.
huggy lady.
Huggy. Oh, wait. She does more than just hug you?
Yes. So I've gone to
I've
the
never.
depths and saw her again after she stabbed the guy. But let's not go into that just in case people are still not there yet.
Yeah, I have no
I've
idea
seen
what
her
you're on
the
about.
second time.
I didn't let her hug me because I knew it debuffed you, but I didn't know how to get rid of the debuff, so I've just been like, nah, bitch,
You just use
get
it.
away from me.
Just use the item, yeah.
But yeah, she has a whole storyline, which is pretty good.
Interesting.
I
Yes.
don't know where I'm at. To be truthful, I was like, there's so many side quests that just go on forever. Like,
Yeah.
I did Rani and Blade's questline.
I've done Rani and Blades, yeah, I've
Yeah.
finished that.
And then I went to, obviously, the capital and ascended the lift and everything just because I was chasing after the,
I am just about to go up the second lift.
The lift of rolled, I
Yeah.
believe.
The old road lift, yes.
Have you found the secret medallion?
Couldn't tell you.
No.
I've been chasing after the bell bearings for like the smithing things, so
Yeah.
that give you
Yes, that's
access
fine.
to the smithing stones. So I kind of went up the lift, got whatever the nearest one that one was, and then I think I'm done with the capital. I know there's something underneath that I've got to go and do, but then I found
The
Volcano
sewers,
Manor
yeah,
after that,
good one.
and apparently I'm meant to go
Right.
from Volcano Manor to the capital.
I did it exactly the same as you. I ended up at Volcano Manor afterwards.
Yeah, like I ran down the hill. I was like, oh hey, there's things down here on the map, and now I've looked at the
Yeah.
map again, and there's like another little castle zone. And I'm like, where has this been?
Yeah. No, tell a lie. I found Volcano Manor before the capital by accident because I was looking for Comet Azure spell.
Yeah.
But I didn't engage with Volcano Manor at all. I stayed away from it. Went to the capital, then went back and did the Volcano Manor thing.
Yeah.
For no reason other than the fact that I forgot that I still need to do something there. The secret medallion I'm on about is you can find 2 pieces of medallion for the lift of rolled, and if you find both pieces, and I couldn't tell you where they were because I can't remember. But if you find both pieces, when you stand on the lift, it obviously prompts you to use the medallion that you're given to go up the lift.
Yeah.
But if you press left or right on the D-pad, as if, say, you know when you're like stood on a message, but you're also stood next to an item, and you got to cycle through them to get the right one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you do that, and you've got the secret medallion in your possession, it changes the direction the lift goes, and it takes you somewhere else.
Ah.
And that's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. So if you find the secret medallion, that's how you use it. It doesn't tell you how to use it. It's only by chance that I noticed that there was a... Hang on. Why is there an option to scroll across?
Does it take
Well,
you to
all right.
a big underground starry land?
I'd
I'd imagine that's in the right area.
maybe. No.
Hmm.
No? No, I
Looks
don't
like
think
a
it does.
weird sort of watery sort of place. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you know what? I can't remember where it took me. How
Oh.
did I end up? Because well, we were speaking about this before we came on live. I don't remember the last time we've been in. Obviously, we've been in a group chat for years together, years and years and years. But I don't remember the last time it's been this active, and I don't remember the last time we've spoken specifically about one game constantly every single day, and still not got bored of it. Elden Ring is like this phenomenon that is just. Have you seen this? Have you done this? No, what the fuck are you on about? Oh, well, you've got to go here. And we're sending each other pictures of the map, and we're sending each other pictures of, like, oh, look for this door in this area. It's fucking cool. And it's fucking cool. It's so cool. It's like this. No one knows what the fuck's going on with the story, because what the fuck's going on with the story? No idea. But we're all experiencing these different things in different orders and different ways, and even when we come up against the same boss, like you two are tanky melee characters and I'm a sorcerer, so
Yeah.
like we've been saying, Kyle was
Gandalf,
struggling with
okay.
the was it the magma worm you were struggling with?
Yep.
And I almost one-shot the magma worm because it's weak against magic. Some bosses that you two are flying through, I struggle with because they're resistant to magic, and then they get right up in my face. And because I don't have a shield, and I've got to learn their attack pattern because I can't use magic against them because it doesn't do anything. So I've got to hack my way with no shield and just roll in. So those bosses become immediately hard.
I'd like to
It's
point
all
out
well and good
I
saying,
don't
oh,
have a shield either.
oh yeah, of course you don't know. Okay, fair enough. You are tankier
Okay.
than I am.
True.
I have a shield because, you know.
You've got proper armor on, and I've got cloth made of face skin.
That sounds great.
Yeah, but the answer to your question, I have no idea where the lift goes because I've forgotten, but it was obviously traumatizing.
What are we looking forward to?
More Elden.
More Elden Ring.
No,
I'm
looking.
literally stood here in front of a boss door.
Which one? Where are you?
Just above the capital, so it's just like one of the cave boss doors.
I see. Yeah, I think I know where you are.
Mm.
I'm actually looking forward to Ghostwire Tokyo, even though I haven't bought it yet, and I don't want to finish Elden Ring in a rush. But I know that's the next game I'm going to play. So I am, in the future, looking forward to playing Ghostwire because all I've heard is things that I would enjoy. So yeah.
Yourself, Carl?
I'm looking forward to the next thing that we're about to talk about.
Yes. All right. In that case,
We're
let's go.
transitions. Up in news, Kingdom Hearts 4 has been announced.
Yes.
Kingdom Hearts 4. And it's the 16th installment in the Kingdom Hearts franchise. Still no one has any idea what is going on in the story.
No.
To be honest, I've got some sort of tear on it, but every time
I've
I
got
think
an
I know
idea.
what's going on, it goes left and nobody knows.
Well, the problem is, well, it's by chance we spoke about Kingdom Hearts last week. I can't remember why we spoke about it, but we definitely did.
My psychic ability because I said I wanted to
Yeah.
replay Kingdom Hearts 3.
That was it. That was it. The problem we've got is, yeah, I kind of get the story. and I obviously watched the recap videos on YouTube because I want to try and understand it better. But we spoke about this a little bit before we came on live. This is, like you said, quite rightly so. This is the 16th installment. 4 of those are mainline titles, which means that 12 of them are obscure titles that people may have never had access to because you might not have had a DS, you might not have wanted to play the mobile games, you might not have had a Game Gear, I believe one of the games is on.
You might not want to have to scroll through cards to do an attack.
Exactly. And let's be fair, all of the games that weren't mainline, except for 1 or 2, maybe at a stretch 3, are complete trash.
They are indeed.
But they contain important story elements. It's wild. We'll get on to it. Go ahead, carry on.
So it's being developed in Unreal Engine 5, which I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do because Unreal Engine's been a massive staple.
I mean, the trailer looks impressive.
It does indeed. So photorealistic graphics has been confirmed. So no more clown boots.
No.
Well, I think
I mean, he's just got big feet, not clown shoes anymore.
He has got big feet. I think that it's been confirmed only for Is it Quadratum?
The world of Quadratum, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, like in all the other games, the character's appearance changes based on the world.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's just going to be the case this time, and that he just looks like a Final Fantasy character in this world because that's the style of the world. That's my assumption, and I don't know for sure. But it would be weird if we had a hyper-realistic Sora in The Little Mermaid. It's just,
Well,
and
who
I
knows?
imagine a
Okay,
hyper-realistic Ariel might attract a slightly older audience.
I think that's kind of what they're probably going to be going towards. Because who remembers Kingdom Hearts 1? It's going to be the older audience now, isn't it?
That's a very good point, but also at the same time, don't forget, Disney's behind this, and Disney owns the IP of Kingdom Hearts, I believe. It's just developed by Square Enix. Obviously, Square Enix is in a partnership with them to include the Final Fantasy characters.
Mm-hmm.
Sora himself is a Disney property.
Yeah. I mean,
so
in all fairness, though, the first game was probably about 70% Disney and 30%, you know, original. And Kingdom Hearts 2 kind of made it 50-50. But Kingdom Hearts 3 was very much about, you know, just the storylines. The storylines, the characters, and the Disney stuff was kind of just in the background.
Pushed to the side, yeah. Which I actually, as for all my criticisms of Kingdom Hearts 3, I actually preferred the Kingdom Hearts story coming into its own.
Yeah.
And Disney just being the setting, because I've never been a huge Disney fan. In fact, Kingdom Hearts is my most favourable interaction with any Disney property.
See, I'm the opposite. See, I love Disney.
Really?
Well, I like all the old school, you know, like Mickey Mouse's and all the old films that they used to play. You know, it wouldn't surprise me.
Hey, I really had no interest in watching The Lion King. I had no interest in watching Bambi, Dumbo, none of these things. In fact, I don't think I've ever finished any of those films because I've started watching them as a child, as a teenager, as an adult, and I'm like, I'm bored.
Yeah, that's fair. Whereas I grew up, Oliver and Company, great film.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I've recently watched it again with the better half. I'm going to say
The better half.
That was good fun.
Very aptly put, by the way. Very diplomatic.
So
we're all excited.
Also, they've announced, it's going to be
be
good. They've announced a new mobile game called Missing Link.
Yeah.
What do we think about this?
Have either of you watched the trailer for this?
No.
Yeah, it looks like a worse Lego game,
Is that
but with better
possible?
graphics.
Does such
What
a
was
thing
what was the
exist?
last what was the last mobile game they released? I can't remember what it was called. It was like Cross something. Oh God.
They made like two, didn't they? I remember they made one years and years ago, which was for not even
Yeah.
smartphones.
Would you remember?
Pixelated Game Boy
You know the bit in
Color.
Kingdom Hearts 3 where you've got all the names of the Keyblade wielders that have long deceased helping you out against that boss fight in the Keyblade graveyard. Spoilers, I know, but whatever. Get with the times. So you know all those names are flying across the screen for the deceased Keyblade wielders that are helping you out. All those usernames were taken from this mobile game.
Was it now?
That explains it.
Yeah, because at the time I was like, what the fuck is all this? Union Cross, that was it. Yeah, Union Cross is the game that was on mobile previously, and all the usernames from that were just randomly inserted into people's games to become, well, deceased Keyblade wielder things. And that game was utter trash as well, and it was really poor. It was like, oh, what's the old Flash games? It was like a Flash game.
Yeah.
I mean, mobile can only do so much compared to,
Admittedly, the new
Mobile
Missing
console.
Link is 3D at least, but it still looks a bit.
It might be one of those early days, though. We can't really judge it till it actually comes out and we have a little bang on it, see what happens.
I guess so. But they seem to be obsessed with, like, if it's not a mainline Kingdom Hearts, then they've got to throw in some weird ass combat system, and it just looks like it's got
Just to
this.
give the story a bit of a boost and get people to do something. Yeah, it's what they did with a lot of them. Like all the middle games have been
Like
like
the
I
card
said before,
system.
the card system, which I thought was. I mean, I got to the first boss, and by that time, I'd already had enough with cycling through 20 cards to try and hit the guy.
Yeah.
I hated the card system. I hated it. Well, this one, by the look of the trailer, you get like a little statue of Sora flies out of the character, and then an attack happens, and then a little statue of Goofy flies out, and he does a different attack, and then Hades pops up, and he casts the fire spell. So I'm assuming you've got to collect. This is pure conjecture. I don't know. I'm assuming you've got to collect statues to be able to play these moves. Like, Hades lets you cast
So it'd
fire.
be like in Kingdom Hearts 3, where you use the buddy system type thing.
Oh, fuck the buddy system as well. That was just as bad as the Disney rides. No one uses guest characters, because if you start leveling up your guest character, right? Admittedly,
and you
Kingdom
don't
Hearts
use
3
them.
did it the
You
best.
can only use them in that one place. So
Exactly. Kingdom Hearts 3 did it best, where they just follow you rather than having to replace a party member.
Yep.
Yeah.
But still, was Woody and Buzz really contributing towards your success in battles? Not really. Not for me.
No.
No, I mean that's the world I used to grind up to level 100 in. But other than that.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
In the
all
in
those
that
giant
dark
toys and
ball
stuff.
thing.
Like
Yeah, same. And then when I figured out that Thunderbird just wipes out the screen when you're level 100, there wasn't a lot of challenge left in the game. Yeah, I agree. This mobile game, Missing Link, looks trash.
So how long
But
do you reckon
no doubt.
until they release Kingdom Hearts 4?
Oh fucking hell! I would be surprised if I'm still alive.
Yeah, I'll be about 26, so
I'll be in my late 70s maybe.
So we're
But
retirement.
Yeah, this is a retirement
Think
game.
about it, we're gonna have a lot of time to play it.
That's very true. But seriously, I think that with Final Fantasy 16 being, compared to the others, relatively recently announced and almost ready, I guess, we could see Final Fantasy 16 this year or next year. Most likely next year.
Yeah, or Christmas release.
So that's what, a couple of years. I'm willing to guess that this game has been in at least pre-production during the development of Kingdom Hearts 3. I think it's probably entered post-production in the last few years, and I'm gonna say 2025.
Really?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Q3 2024.
Okay.
Yeah,
Similar.
I'm thinking the same as Kyle. Sort of late 2024
I
or late.
definitely think
2.5 years, kind of.
I don't think it's going to be next year unless they
didn't.
do some rush job on it and then do day one patches and stuff, which
Yeah, I don't
they
think there's.
could do.
I
But
don't think
that
there's
doesn't seem very
any.
Square Enixy.
No, I don't think there's any chance of it coming out next year. I agree that it'll probably be. Wait, when did Kingdom Hearts 3 come out? Didn't it come out at the beginning of the year? Or am I thinking of something else? Oh.
Release date was 25th of January 2019.
Yeah, it came out at the beginning of the year because for some reason, I've got it in my head that I usually associate Kingdom Hearts as like a Christmas game, and then I was like, oh shit, that's only because I was a poor child and I got it for Christmas. So I didn't necessarily get the first two games out on release date. In fact, I didn't even own the first game. I just kept stealing it from my cousin. Sorry.
Borrowing we use
Give me
here.
like
I
an
borrowed
idea where
it.
that went.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I've still got it. But maybe it'll be Q1 2025. I'm gonna say.
All right, that's
Mm.
going to be it's going to be a long wait, but
It's
hopefully
gonna be a long wait.
hopefully it's worth it.
Hopefully, we're just treated to like little snippets here and there.
Yeah,
You know,
like
a
more
little bit,
mobile games. Can't wait.
not too much. I just want a little tease, just a little. I want to see another
Teasers here and
world.
there.
If anything, just to confirm that the art styles are going to change per world, or whether it's going to be hyper realistic in all of them.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
I
go
don't
to
know.
like an actual Final Fantasy world. That would be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That's a really good point actually, because in Kingdom Hearts 3, when we were running through Monsters Inc., I was like, this would be so much cooler if it was like Midgar Reactor from Final Fantasy
Yeah.
7. I want to see Final Fantasy Worlds now. All right, Disney, you've had your moment. All right, fair enough. You own the IP. I don't give a shit. I want to see Final Fantasy Worlds. And don't give me that shit that fucking, what was it, the castle place that I've forgotten the name of. Oh, that's where all the Final Fantasy characters live. No! Don't give me that. I want to see Final Fantasy Worlds.
Hollow Bastion.
Hollow Bastion. That's it. Yeah, don't give me that
Yeah.
crap. That is not a Final Fantasy world. That is a made up, convenient plot point where they could have just crammed all the Final Fantasy characters together. So make another plot point where Hollow Bastion is actually where they just all collected when all the world blew up. Great, thanks. Move on. Let's see some Final Fantasy worlds.
All right. Like you said, moving on before you lose the blood cell. All right. PlayStation Classics unavailable. As reported by Kotaku, multiple classic PlayStation titles that players have purchased digitally across both consoles are currently not playable. According to reports, the issue has impacted Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy VI, a staple of a game, Final Fantasy VI, Rune Factory, Oceans, and even more. The entire download game library of some players. Some have also stated that Chrono Cross can no longer be found on the PS Vita store, but they are conflicting reports. It can also be noted that Chrono Cross is already unavailable in some regions on the Vita, including Europe. Players are saying that when they try to boot up these games, they are being met with the content has expired and is no longer available message, with the expiration date being either December 31st, 1969, great number,
Nice.
or January 1st, 1970. We're all children here, let's be honest.
I was ready to
Is
pounce
this a
on that.
bug or intentional? In the light of PS Plus offering classic titles such as the higher tier subscriptions, What do you reckon? Little suspicious, right?
I mean, up until that
Go,
last paragraph, I was going to say, oh yeah, if you buy digital, that's kind of what you risk, that they can just take it away from you at any point because you essentially have a license to play the game, but it's still hosted online by their servers. But if it's coming up with that, there's an expiration date that's December 31st, 1969, nice, or January 1st, 1970, that sounds a bit bug-like. It sounds a bit buggy.
Maybe they just decided to put the numbers on there just to troll players.
Yeah, make it
to
look
be
like a bug. Yeah.
Well, I think when you have hardware, you've got like a arbitrary default date. So when you like boot up a console for the first time and it tells you to enter your date of
birth
or whatever,
and all that sort of thing. Like,
and it starts off on a date, and it usually starts off on one of these random default dates where the software beginning of life is technically December 31st, 1969, for absolutely no reason. It seems like I want to believe it's a bug, because it seems like this completely random date is just like the default software date for the hardware, and something's gone wrong. It's defaulted back to that time, and then it thinks, shit, the license has expired. Because if you think about it, companies need to renew licenses to be able to continue to sell products. So say you have, think of a game, Tony Hawk has plenty of licensed music in it.
Yep.
So if you're selling the game digitally, then it's in a continuous marketplace. Whereas if you're selling it physically, it's out in the wild then. Those physical discs can be bought secondhand whenever. But if you're selling it as a first-party distributor, you need to update the license to continue selling it. Say you've got a license for 10 years. And after that 10-year point, they remove it from the PSN store. They remove it from their distribution. They don't sell it any longer because they don't have a license to sell it.
Couldn't they?
If the PlayStation suddenly... Oh, go on. What were you going to say?
Couldn't they actively make it as part of the deal, though, saying, hey, we want to have one of your tracks on this, but essentially we're buying the rights to this song to stay on this game forever?
No, because the difficulty is there's all sorts of reasons, like what if the company falls into disrepute and the person who's licensed it to them wants to distance themselves, or what if they become a direct competitor and it becomes a problem that they've then licensed something to them. There's plenty of reasons.
It's to a specific game, though, isn't it? It's like
it is
the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 or 2 or whatever. All
Best
those
music
bands
for
that
the
are still
series.
on there, despite whether
But
the
you
bands
don't-
have gone through anything or the companies, they're still on the game disc.
Yeah, they're still on the game disc, but that's no longer in the control of the distributor. That's been sold. So like I said last time, you've essentially sold the license on a disc to play the game to the consumer. If you say you can't grant a license to a game because a game's not a legal entity, you can only grant a license to a legal entity, so a company, so Sony would be granted the license to be able to use that material in the agreed format, which would be the game, and that would span for a period of years. Because if you think about it, if you granted a license ad infinitum to Sony, and you said you can use this license to make Tony Hawk's, then Sony would just pump out thousands of Tony Hawk's games, purely just make believe. Sony pumps out thousands and thousands of different iterations of the same Tony Hawk game with the same music on it, but pays no additional license fees because they've already paid their bit.
Yeah.
And the material holder, the original license holder, gains nothing from their deal then, which is why you shouldn't need to renew licenses. And also, value of things goes up. So, say you licensed your music for a make-believe figure, 10,000. You licensed it for 5 years. But then all of a sudden you become popular as a band or as a label, and now that track is worth 50,000. By the time you come to renew the license deal, you're gonna want to say, no, we're more popular now. We're in more demand. So it's no longer 10,000 for the license deal for 5 years. It's 50,000 for 5 years. Take it or leave it.
I don't
So
know.
it's a way for the
I still would have thought that they just sell it and say, look, this is going, we're selling this physically, we're selling it digitally, your track is going on here. You don't need to renew the license because, you pay a fee to put it in the game permanently.
the power is in the IP holder. So it's not up to the game maker, it's up to the person lending them that IP, so granting them the license to use it.
The real question is, who cares about Tony Hawk's anymore? Skate 4.
Who cares about
has
Tony
been
Hawk's anymore?
confirmed.
Anyway, my original point was, if the PlayStation suddenly shits itself and you've been transferred back 50 years into the past, the license for those things are all of a sudden 40 years out of date.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah, could be.
Again, I have no idea. I hope it's a bug, and I hope it's not suspicious, and I really hope it's not because they're going to be offering these classic titles as part of the subscription, because that would be a kick in the teeth for everyone that's actually bought these classic
It
games on the
would be
PS3
very
and Vita.
devastating, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like at the end of the day, if you bought your game, whether it's digitally or physically, you should be able to play that game. Just because they then come out with a
Yeah.
service that says, hey, you can rent this from us.
Yeah,
If
which
you
is the
pay us
worst part. Yeah,
£100, right?
I don't like the fact that, because I've been thinking about this since we spoke about the additional tiers, that would I want to go to the highest tier? Maybe. It depends what games are on available. But why can't I have the option to just like buy it as part of like a piecemeal service? So, do I want to subscribe for 100 quid a year when realistically I just want to play
1 or 2
classic
games.
RPGs?
Mm.
Can I not just buy Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10? Not 10. Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9. Can I not just buy the original Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross?
No, and I'll
And I
tell you
not
why.
just
Do you want to know why?
recurring spending?
Money.
Why? Money.
Money.
As money. I suppose that would have been an easier answer to your license
It
question.
would be
Just
nice
money.
if they would have put through like, you can rent these games or whatever from us by paying this, but then you can also buy them outright.
Yeah,
and
kind
just
of like
play
Game
that
Pass.
one.
You
Yeah.
rent the games effectively with Game Pass, but you do get a substantial discount if you want to buy it, and that's good. That's smart, because if you do want like an a la carte service and you don't necessarily want to continue your Game Pass subscription past the month that you're on,
Mm-hmm.
but you're really enjoying a game, or say the game is leaving the Game Pass service and you want to continue playing it, and you can buy it at a discounted price, and that's kind of what I want with these PlayStation 1, 2, maybe not 3 because you can't download them, classic games and PSP games as well. I'd like the option to at least say, oh, I'll buy that, and so I can own it. Yeah, I'll own it digitally, but I'll own it more than I would if it was just rented, and then
Yeah.
if I stop paying my subscription, I lose access to it.
It's like Netflix.
It's actually funny you mentioned the Game Pass there, Stu.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
It is.
Yeah, because moving right on.
It's almost as if I wrote it.
It's a price increase, right?
Apparently.
So could we finally be seeing Microsoft true hand when it comes to their subscription service? Xbox Game Pass may become more expensive, according to Comic Book, as part of Microsoft's alleged effort to get rid of its base tier Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold in favor of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Microsoft Premium tier subscription, which currently costs $15, which in my eyes isn't that much. $15 is what? A little over a tenner?
Yeah. In the superior currency.
Standard, yeah. In the good old sterling. Would be the gaming standard going forward, meaning an Xbox Game Pass subscriber would have to pay an extra $5 every month. This admittedly isn't that bad, as those playing via Xbox Live Gold who might experience a $10 increase in price. What do you reckon? Will the price of Game Pass Ultimate be the only option available for them?
I think it'd be the only smart option.
It's two things, really. Obviously, inflation, everything's going up, so I can understand them putting prices up. But
Of course, yeah.
as you might have seen, Dragon's Den, or if you're in the US, it's like Shark Tank, or those sort of programs. Every
Shark Tank.
successful big business originally sells their product for a loss, because the idea is to get people hooked on it, get people used to it, and then after a year or two, up the price so you start making a profit. I mean, Disney Plus
Same
did
with
it,
console
Netflix did it.
sales, isn't it?
Yeah, console
Yeah.
sales, yeah. Like they all do it where it's, oh hey, Disney Plus was only I think when it first came out it was like $5.99 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's up to like what, $7.99, $8.99, something like that.
Yep.
Over the course of what, a year and a half or so. Netflix has done the same, it keeps going up. But it's because so many people rely on it. So if you've got all these people relying on, the Xbox sort of online subscription service, and they're gonna be like, oh, Game Pass is so good, it's so good. Well, they're gonna say it's an extra $5 a month. That's fine. I like playing my games. I get my use out of it. And then add $5 a month to every person that's currently using it, and there you go. Money from Microsoft.
What are they on? Are they on? Is it 25 million subscribers or something similar to that
Yeah,
for Game Pass?
something
So
like
that's 25 million lots of $5,
yeah,
which is huge amounts of money.
and that's
Maybe
just
not fair.
that's just for the first month. Every month after that is that much again, and then
Yeah.
again the following month, and then again the following month.
I don't know. Does Game Pass have an option to purchase for the year, or is it just strictly $15 a month for Ultimate? Because obviously PS Plus has the option to get it discounted to buy it for 12 months all at once.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but even if it was annual, the annual price will still go up.
Oh yeah.
So they'll still make money on that. So I think that's what it comes down to, is a case of they did it for a loss at first to as you said as well, console sales. Like if you have a really good service and you say, hey look, buy our console and then you can pay this monthly and get all this, people are more likely to go out and try and buy an Xbox.
Yeah.
And now that they've got the sales that they might have wanted to achieve, they can just screw over the Xbox players and say, yeah, we're hiking up all our prices. What are you gonna do about it? You already bought the console.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you gonna do?
You reckon they'll get rid of the Xbox Live Gold, like as a separate subscription?
I think so.
I hope
Yeah.
so, because I don't see the point in it anymore. Xbox Live Gold is effectively PS Plus, wasn't it? But it was always well, I was going to say an inferior version, but that's only in respect of the free games that we got. So games with gold is laughably bad, and always has been laughably bad. PS Plus has time and time again produced better free games in air quotes.
Yeah.
It's obviously subject to your subscription, but
it's definitely served its purpose though, hasn't it?
it's definitely served. It was revolutionary for its time. It brought the idea of paid subscription, recurring subscription to be able to play online games. Whereas originally, and you may remember, PSN was free to begin with. So we didn't used to have to pay for our online services. They took the idea from Xbox to have this paid service to be able to play online. PlayStation took it a little bit further, maybe egregiously, to say, oh, well, cloud saves are also locked behind the subscription, whereas on Xbox's side, you just get that, which is great. I think that should be the case for PlayStation as well. I don't see why cloud services need to be locked behind a paywall, because if you stop playing your PS Plus subscription, you lose all your cloud saves.
Yeah.
That's not fair. But Game Pass Ultimate obviously rolls in everything that Xbox Live Gold gives you, so it allows you to play online. So it's made Gold redundant, and they should probably just sell Game Pass Ultimate as the evolution of Xbox Live Gold.
Yeah, no,
So
I agree.
and no one's gonna miss games with Gold, really, are they?
No,
Because I bet you all the
This
games
is
with
just the
Gold are probably
adoption and
available
stuff
on
like
Game
that,
Pass.
Yeah,
I think it was very much a trial subscription thing for when the Xbox and then the 360 came out, because streaming games back then wasn't a thing at all, really. But now with fiber and broadband speeds picking up and everybody having stable internet, it's more of a thing to be able to just stream your games or download them quickly, so you can offer services like that. So
Interestingly enough, as well, The business park near where I live, Kyle. You'll know which one.
Yep.
They're installing gigabit internet for the business park.
Fun.
So that's the first area locally to us that I've seen capable of gigabit internet.
Yeah, I mean it just depends. I mean even now for like homes and stuff, there's a lot of places that like, oh, we can give you 500 megabytes a second upload and download, and I'm thinking, woof.
Sadly, not in my area.
Yeah. Sticks.
Don't worry, it's not in mine either.
No. I mean, I live next to a large field, a forest, and a hospital. So,
Just everything you need.
yeah, pretty much. Oh, and a really bad nightclub. I lost my train of thought there. Yeah, Xbox Live Gold needs to go.
Yeah, I
think.
I
You reckon
think
they've done it in
abandon it.
response to the PS Plus's pricing? Or was it just
Maybe.
always part? Do you reckon they were always going to raise it?
I think it's like I
What
said.
do you think, Kyle?
I think it's that they sold it as a loss to begin with. I mean, this is obviously,
Yeah.
it could be related to it, but it could be something that they've always had on the cards and they've either just pushed it forward or bought it back, kind of thing.
That's a good point.
Just
Yeah,
to
maybe.
say, hey, we're staying relevant and we are the competition.
That's a good point. And I think I think it's plausible to think that Xbox Live Gold will go because they've recently, very quietly, I don't know if either of you seen this, that they've stopped you from being able to buy monthly bundles of Xbox Live Gold. So Xbox Live Gold, you used to be able to pay annually. You used to be able to buy 6 months in advance, so for a discounted price. You can't do that anymore. You can only buy Xbox Live Gold on a monthly basis now. And this is recent, and it was advertised absolutely nowhere. Which is technically a price hike because you no longer have that access to the discounted annual. And I think the price hike with Game Pass as well comes in the fact that they're trying to phase out the basic tier of Game Pass, which is cheaper. So the price rise comes with the fact that you're forced to subscribe to Ultimate.
Yeah.
And then obviously the technically increased price of gold, thanks to the fact that you can't get the annual discount anymore, means that those people will then see more valuable in Ultimate and then subscribe to that, which will be a greater cost to them. So there's a price increase there for those specific customers. Who may not have subscribed to that otherwise, but now they may feel like they have no other choice because that's now the best deal for them for similar services to what they expected. Obviously with the benefit of having Game Pass, so it may work out for them for the better, but they may not have made that decision otherwise unless they were forced to.
Going off of what you were saying, Kyle, about the price increase to, not gain a loss anymore, I reckon with the next one, will the price of the Ultimate go up, or do you reckon they can sustain a $15 a month? I think personally they're going to raise that. They're not going to keep it at 15. What do you guys think?
I think it's a yes and yes question. I think the price will go up, but they could sustain it at $15 a month. It's Microsoft, they could keep making a loss, or they could keep, the average for as long as they wanted, really. But if they want money,
Microsoft could definitely sustain it, but
Whether or not they want to.
sustain is definite. Definite? Sustain
Definite.
is different from profitable. Sustainable is different from profitable, is what I'm trying to say. So all the times that we've seen Phil say, "Oh, Game Pass is sustainable," right? Yeah, of course it is. Microsoft's one of the richest companies in the world. He's not saying Game Pass is profitable. So yes and yes, I agree with Kyle. Yes, I think it'll go up, but yes, they could definitely sustain it.
yeah.
I think it will go up by virtue of the fact that it's only sustainable and not profitable. I don't believe the Game Pass is profitable. I don't see how it could be.
Yeah, it is dirt cheap for what you get.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Let's
reckon
be fair.
they'll probably slap another $5 on that as well.
At least, yeah.
At least. Yeah.
And I can see by 2025, I can see Game Pass Ultimate being $24.99 a month.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
And to be fair, for all the games you get, it's still a really good deal.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
you've got
less
no
of a good
worries
deal.
about it, have you?
Yeah.
Decent games.
Again, it's not for me per se. Even though I am entertaining upping my tier on PS Plus as a trial period, but I don't know if it'd be for me forever. I'd rather buy them a la carte, like I said earlier. I'd rather say I want that game and I'll buy it. If I can get it at a discount, great. PS Plus discounts have always been really good, to be fair. Yeah, I agree with you, Carl. You're on a similar thought process, aren't you, Parky? I think.
Yeah. I reckon that it's definitely going to be at least £25 in a few years' time. So I feel sorry for him because a lot of Xbox players are, they're used to this, paying this price for their subscription. So to slap a bigger bill on them, it's going to be pretty devastating in the long run.
Yeah, it's dangerous to train your audience to expect everything for nothing.
Yeah.
So the deal is so good at the moment that will people react badly to a price hike? Have they backed themselves into a corner where they really do not rely on software sales anymore because everyone's subscribing? I don't know. Xbox games still sell, but at a vastly lower percentage compared to other platforms. Vastly lower percentage. Obviously, we can only go off UK sales data, because really, UK sales data is the only publicly available sales data for some reason. I don't know why that is, but we've still got very active physical charts. So physical sales data is far easier to keep track of than digital, simply because the digital sales data is locked behind the IP owners and they don't want to release accurate sales data for some reason. But the UK
the
is
games were a flop.
Oh, exactly, yeah. The UK is still primarily a physical copy market. We've still got a booming physical copy market compared to other countries in the world. So we can at least rely on our sales data for physical games to show the popularity of each platform and the spending habits of each platform holder. And as it seems, in the UK specifically, Xbox is not selling even close to what PlayStation and Switch are. Obviously.
Yeah. We're gonna pivot on to the next
Yep.
next one now. Super Perils of Bacon from indie dev Lilimo Games. Anyone actually seen this or played it? Super Nintendo style side-scrolling platformer throwback game. Super Perils of Bacon is set for release on 3rd of June for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC.
Seen the trailer.
Yeah,
It's
what do you reckon?
interesting. It's interesting. I would like to play it, I think.
Yeah.
I can't really describe it unless you've seen the trailer. And I would have. This is a game that particularly interested me, and I just wanted to stick it in here to try and mainly for the questions I've written after. So I'll let you.
Yeah.
Because I can almost guarantee Carl's never heard of this.
No, I haven't heard of it. I mean, the name sounds cool. I've decided that.
Perils of Bacon.
Super Perils of Baking.
Yes.
So they have different trophy lists for PS4 and PS5. So on the PS4, they've got a standard trophy list. PS5 is the comically hard trophy list, i.e., no damage, 100% completion runs for a bronze trophy.
Yeah. This is what interested me, and this is why I wanted to talk to you both about it. Lilimo Games is. Remember, I mentioned last week about Sacred Symbols, the biggest PlayStation podcast in the world. The guy on there is a co-owner of Lilimo Games. He is a PlayStation fan through and through, but obviously develops his games for all platforms because that makes sense because money.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's a trophy aficionado. He has hundreds of platinum trophies, not just tens, but hundreds. And he firmly believes, and I firmly believe, that trophies matter. Like, they can improve your experience with the game. If a game's got a bad trophy list, it can really screw with your experience of the game. And I thought that it was really interesting to have different trophy lists on PS4 and PS5. If you buy this game on PlayStation, you have access to both PS4 and PS5 versions. You don't pay twice, you just get them both. Which is why they've done it. So if you want and because it's a side-scrolling pixel art Nintendo-style platformer, the power of the PS4 and the power of the PS5 makes absolutely no difference to the game. It could run on a PS2. So it doesn't matter what version you play, you're going to get the exact same experience, aside from the trophies. I
So
thought
you're
it was
gonna
really
have to use
interesting.
a plug-in controller, because if you use a wireless, that input lag's gonna get you. Just like Super Meat Boy, man. Super Meat Boy was so you had to be so accurate, and if
Yeah,
you
that's
had a
very true.
wireless controller, the accuracy just wasn't where it had to be.
Good point. You can obviously play the PS4 version on the PS5, and the wireless controller on the PS5 is flawless in my opinion.
Yeah.
But what slightly taken over, I guess. But what do you think about these different trophy lists? I think it's really cool.
I think it's good, but why? Why would you do it? Like,
Just because.
Yeah.
just
It's like
because they
difficulty
can.
settings for trophies.
But if you ain't got a PS5 and you've got a PS4, to see that people on PS5 get these insane trophies because they've got a PS5, so they just
Well, no,
deserve them. I don't know.
they've almost tailored it to the fact that these trophies are going to be so hard that only 0.1% of players are even going to attempt them. And with the PS5 being less available than the PS4, they stuck it on the PS5 trophy list.
Good luck getting the platinum, guys. All the best.
Yeah, you can get the platinum for the PS4 version because they're normal trophies.
Yeah, because they're just standard. Yeah.
Is it essentially
But
they want to have the hardest platinum to obtain on the PS5?
I don't think that was. I don't know for sure. Maybe, but it was just a case of they wanted to do something different, so they dicked around and made the hardest possible trophy list they could think of.
So the Xbox and the Steam editions are going to be the standard trophy list.
Yeah.
Same on
So
the
not
PS4. Yeah.
So not the really difficult one, the standard one that you can enjoy and actually achieve the platinum in.
But is this something that interests us? Do we like these sort of like insanely hard challenge? I like, because we're all playing Elden Ring.
Yeah.
So these insanely hard sort of things,
I
are
like
they something
hard
that you would actually go
games.
out and get a game for?
Kyle, you go first. What do you
No,
reckon?
probably not. I like my platinums nice and easy, like Rocket League, Lego games.
Barbie Dollhouse Adventure.
Yeah.
I like a challenge. Well, do you remember me saying that Horizon Forbidden West Platinum was really disappointing?
Yeah.
Because it was almost as if I auto unlocked the platinum. There wasn't any challenge to it. I didn't have to think, oh, I need to do this, and oh, I better do this to set it up for later so I can get the platinum. It was a case of I did a little bit of everything as I went through the game just to try it out, and then I beat the last boss, and then I was like, oh shit, I got the platinum.
Jeez.
So I've left the game behind with a map full of markers, which gave me anxiety at the time anyway, because there was so much to do, and I don't have to do any of it. So a lot of that content in the game, I've got absolutely no incentive to go and see now because I finished the story. And quite frankly, some of the conversation that you get locked in Horizon Forbidden West goes on and on, and it's really well written, and it's really well captured in animation. The facial animations are exceptional. I've got the important information. I've got the main story. I listen to that intently. I don't really care if someone's lost a sister in the middle of the desert anymore because that's a problem now. I ain't going back to save her.
Mistake, like.
Yeah. But coming back to the trophy thing, I think it's really maybe not to this point. Maybe not having a super hard version of a trophy list, but and maybe not having separate trophy lists between PS4 and PS5. But what if we could have different tiers of trophy lists for one game for I don't know whatever reason? So say, what if they were tied to like play styles? So for Elden Ring, for instance, what if there was a trophy list for going pure mage or pure warrior, and then you could get multiple platinums for a single game?
I think
That would be good. Yeah.
Because
See, I'm kind of a sadist when it comes to them.
at the moment,
So-
it's just a completionist thing, isn't it? It's like, hey, get all of the, get all the weapons, get all the sorceries, get all the, max out a stats.
Kill all the bosses. Like,
Yeah. But I suppose it would benefit someone who say, "Oh, I never ever want to play as a sorcerer," but say some of the trophies were tied to sorcery. This is just examples. Then you'd never get the platinum. Whereas if you had a sorcery only trophy list or a warrior only trophy list, you could still get a platinum for the game. And if you were crazy, you could go for all of them and get multiple platinums for their game.
See, that's
I don't
like the Final Fantasy Online, right? Because they've got you have to get to a certain level with each sort of style of class. Although it's for a trophy rather than a whole tier.
Yeah, but it is part of the same trophy
forces
list. So if
you
you
to-
don't do it for everyone, then you can't get the platinum. Whereas if it was a separate list, then you could get the platinum for that list.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not smart enough to figure this out. I just thought it was a cool idea.
Yeah, it would be a cool idea. But yeah, I'm a sadist when it comes to trophies, man. If I like the game, I'm gonna play it no matter how hard the trophies are. And of course, I'm gonna attempt to. Like Killzone 2 was one of my first platinums I got.
Bloody hell!
And doing that on the hardest difficulty was
That last boss was bullshit.
Radic was great.
Radic. Oh, what a dick,
With all his
man.
little grenade friends, yeah.
It was an invisible dude, wasn't he?
Yeah. Just sneak up next to you with a knife, yeah.
What an asshole, man. I hated that. I hated it. I loved the entire game, all the way through Killzone 2 until that point. I was like, this is bullshit.
Getting the multiplayer trophies as well, which was like what you had to be top
1% in the world.
Yeah. I know life that game for a while.
I'm not surprised. That doesn't surprise me at all. I'm very impressed that you've got it. Very,
well,
very
thank you.
impressed.
Thank you.
Alright. It's alright.
But on that one, we're going to shimmy on to Chrono Cross. Radical Dreamers Edition running poorly on PS4 and 5. Digital Foundry have analysed the performance of the PlayStation 1 remaster, and the results are shockingly bad. The game's frame rate is generally quite shocking, dynamically dipping all over the place while exploring and in combat. Not a good sign.
No.
Chrono Cross remains a really good PS1 JRPG, but the fact it somehow runs worse than it did back in 1999 is a disgrace. Unable to hit even 30 frames per second a majority of the time.
That's a pro game.
Digital Foundry, Tom Morgan. Yeah, broken JRPGs, that's just that, isn't it? Digital Foundry's Tom Morgan goes as far to call it one of the worst performing games I've ever seen on PS4, which is astounding when you consider the fact that it's essentially an emulated PS1 title. Scored 76 on a Metacritic with a poor user score of 3.2, mainly due to performance issues rather than quality of the gameplay and story. Could this mean bad news for PS1 classics available?
You go first, Kyle.
I mean, you could just get a PS1 emulator on your phone and,
I literally have Final Fantasy VI on my phone.
Yeah, I've got an emulator on my phone as well.
And we both play Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, and for me, that game runs flawlessly. There's no frame drops, nothing. The audio quality is exceptional. Using Meteor with Terra over and over again. She just go Madoyo, Madoyo, Madoyo. Like, yeah, Madoyo.
There was a couple of troubles with Leviathan. If you used the wrong move, he did sink through the floor.
It
But
just went flat. Didn't it?
yeah, but
I
apart
wouldn't
from that,
know.
you know.
I one shot Leviathan every single time. So what can I say?
All right.
Pro gamer. God, you really need to get in this Opera Omnia game. It's so
Well.
good.
And you won't even be that far behind after a week. You'll probably catch up to me or even Stu. Like, you know, I mean, it's such a generous game.
It's the most generous gacha game. So yeah, right. Technically, it's loot boxes, but they just throw in-game currency at you. I have never spent a penny on this game, ever. And at the moment, I think I've got what? It's 5,000 gems for a 10 pull, and you get a free.
Guaranteed 5-star. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get a +1 to that 10 pull if you do the 10 pull. And I've got 84,000 gems, and that's just from 1 week's worth of content. So there's absolutely no reason to spend money on this game. It's so good. And it's all of the Final Fantasy characters. All of them. So even though you're not a massive Final Fantasy fan, there will be something
I can
there.
play as the best Final Fantasy characters?
Yes.
As in the ones from 13?
Yes.
I can play Lightning and Snow.
You can play...
And...
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. And Sarah, and Noel, and Saz.
Saz, yeah.
Yeah, and
the bad guy.
Australian lady.
Australian lady.
Fang. That's the one. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, you can play as them all. Admittedly, some are better than others. At the moment, Zack from Final Fantasy VII is the most OP character in the game. Selphie has just been reworked, so she is the most overpowered support character in the game. And if you have Eco from Final Fantasy IX, even the hardest content, there's these things called Lufenia levels, and there's like an orb that ticks down, and if it gets to 0, it just wipes out your party. So you've got to satisfy the conditions of the orb. So like, use lightning damage and do 500,000 damage in one turn to increase the orb.
Yeah.
Things like that. But if you've got Eco with her LD, which is a type of attack, she just resurrects your entire party. So if the Lufenia orb kills you, she just brings you back to life. And then you just carry on as if it never happened. It's great. Excellent game. Play it. Don't spend any money, though.
Shimmy and back to the PS1 subscription.
Oh, yeah.
Does this make us hesitant to upgrade it?
Yeah, yes. Because I'm concerned about the emulation of the PS1 classics. If this game can't run from 1999... How? Alright, this isn't on Sony, this is on Square Enix. How have they fucked this up?
Isn't it normally to do with not compatibility but hardware, as in everybody's got a different TV, and back in the day everyone had the same sort of, CRT monitor. But
I have no
apparently
idea.
a lot of the time with emulations, it's that the frame rate and the hardware rendering are wrong. Like, they need to lock the frame rate, as bad as it sounds. I know you've got a PS5 and everything, but lock the frame rate back to what it should be. Don't have it as a 60 FPS game. And stop the hardware rendering. Literally run it. Let it use up all the processing power, even though it needs like a fraction. And chances are it'd be a lot smoother. But
I wonder if this is a software problem rather than a hardware problem, though. Because the game originally, I believe, ran at 60 frames a second on PS1.
that's because all
really,
PS4 games are on PowerPoint.
Well, surprisingly, 30 frames a second was really an Xbox 360 and PS3 era.
Yeah, you say that, but Paint also runs on 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you can sometimes have problems where animations are animated in 30 frames a second. So if you run the game at 60 frames a second, it looks janky. I'm fairly sure this originally ran at 60 frames, which is why the target was obviously 60 frames. But I agree, it should have just been locked at 60 frames. there shouldn't be any frame drops, because what is taking up the entire processing power of the PS5 or the PS4? It's a game from 1999. The entire size of the game is probably smaller than the model of a tree in Horizon. Easily.
100%. It's just one of those, isn't it?
It's just, I don't get it. Square
maybe
Enix
something they tried to
fucked.
bring out or bring over has
It's a
struggled.
remaster. Fair enough. It's a remaster, so it is. It's not quite that small. I'm just being facetious. So yes, it's a remaster. What have they done during that remastering process to really mess up the performance of the game?
Maybe it's just a bit of code they put into something that's made it a lot bigger than it should have, and they haven't double checked it.
Interesting you say that, actually. You've reminded me. Do you remember Aliens, Colonial Marines and how
Yeah, I
badly that
try to
ran?
forget it as much every day.
And then years and years later, before way past anyone ever caring about this game ever again, some modder just found that there was one digit in the code that was wrong. He removed it, and then the game ran flawlessly.
See,
gonna say,
And
maybe
it was quite,
it's one of those.
yeah, it was quite literally. I think it was either one line or one digit, one character, either one of incorrect code, and he removed it, and the game was fine. Which just goes to show how talented coding people who can code are, because coding is fragile.
yeah.
Which is another benefit of Unreal Engine 5, like we were briefly touching on earlier, because a lot of it's just plugins. You can plug in a physics engine, you can plug in a menu system, you can plug in a save system. It just works rather than you having to code it from scratch.
Yay, lazy developing.
Hey!
Day one patches, here we come.
Hey! I am concerned about the PS1 emulation as part of subscription, though, because if they all end up like this, then what's the point?
Yeah,
Sony.
does that make you are we still interested in getting this particular game, or maybe the games in the future?
I'm interested in getting Chrono Cross eventually. It will be after Ghostwire.
I mean, when they release Project Sparkus, do you reckon they'll give everybody, like for PlayStation now, do you think they'll give everyone a week's free trial?
No,
You don't think they will?
no.
I mean, I've got a little feeling they might,
But then, in
because
which
they
case,
did
wouldn't...
originally with the PlayStation Plus, right? They gave everyone a free trial for however long it was before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's
And then
no
every
reason
game you
not
bought had like a 6-month trial in it and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
wouldn't you then just I forgot where I was going with that sentence. Continue.
But then
Oh
again, with the
no.
classic games, they're so short. If it gave you a trial, you could probably complete it before the trial ends.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was it. Wouldn't you then just buy a month, not do it as a subscription, play your games and some of the ones that you want to see, and if they're like utter trash and they don't run very well, then just wait until it gets fixed down the line.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. But
Probably.
you then paying a slight premium because you're not getting the annual discount, so you'd pay slightly more than you would have had to if you definitely, because if you paid for that first month and you're like, yep, this is great, and then you just continue to subscribe, you made a little bit of a loss there.
Yeah.
It's not earth shattering or anything, but
Then
technically,
again, if it's terrible, then you saved yourself
yeah,
Yeah.
again, yeah,
I mean,
waiting
you've
for
true.
made
that
a loss
year.
either way because you don't own the game. It's still a
Yeah.
subscription service, so
Yeah.
Which is I don't like these. This is why I don't like these subscription services, because even though it'd be cool to be able to play these old games, I worry that my gaming experience is so closely tied to trophies now that I will lose interest. I
Pretty
don't
quick.
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but I sure as hell know that I picked up the Switch that we have in the house, played a game for a bit, and thought, there's nothing to earn, and then I put it
It's
down
so
and never
hard to
picked
play
it
Rocket League on a Switch, though, I tell
up
you.
again. Is that because it runs at like 9 frames a second?
yeah.
No, because the controllers are so hard to keep hold of.
Oh well.
But speaking of old games, Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes have been announced.
Ooh.
But is Remedy in for a world of PAYNE.
don't know why
Remedy, the studio behind Control, and more recently, and unfortunately, Crossfire X's single-player campaign, provided several updates on a game it currently has in development, including PvE game Condor and a future bigger budget Control game. The studio's CEO, Tero
I have no
Bertala,
idea.
I got this, Bertala, kicked off the announcement by explaining that the increase in profits and the studios provided the team with stronger means to execute the strategy and carry out our ambitions' long-term growth plans. He continues by stating that due to this, the studio was able to expand its multi-project capabilities and strengthen its in-house capabilities in particular to project financing and publishing activities. This means that currently Remedy has 5 projects in development, which is insane for a company.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be Max Payne 1 and 2 remasters, Control 2, Alan Wake 2, Project Condor, and Vanguard. Obviously, Control 2 and Alan Wake 2, they're in the same universe, right?
Yep.
So that should be cool. See if they do a little mix on that.
Well, they did with Control 1. That was cool. I don't know why. I just wanted to point this out. I don't know why I thought I was being clever spelling pain as in World of Pain the same way Max Payne spelt, because it suddenly just occurred to me that no one can see this.
In for a world of painy.
Pain. Anyway.
Yeah, they've got successes. Obviously, Alan Wake and Control were a great success for them. So hoping they don't ruin them both with the sequels. Remedy's failures, Quantum Break.
Do you remember Quantum Break, either of you?
I played it for about an hour. Gave up.
What an awful game.
Yeah.
Oh, do you remember this, Kyle? It was like a TV game crossover.
Which game was this?
Quantum Break for the Xbox.
No, I thought you were talking about a James Bond movie for a minute there.
Oh God, no. No. Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
No, not that. There was a TV series, and it tied in with the game, and it was bad.
And it was badly scripted, man. It was.
Yeah. But thinking about it, it was kind of like an early version of what Control became, because you had like telekinetic powers and stuff in Quantum Break, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was just really bad. And obviously, I only played it at friends' houses. A friend of mine had it. In fact, it was an ex's brother. Had Quantum Break, and we played it at his house, and it's just like, what's this? He goes, no, it's cool. It's got a TV show as well. I was like, yeah.
Really cool TV
show. That's when you just shuffle 2 steps to the side and then just start playing a JRPG on a Game Boy.
Yeah, and then Crossfire as well.
Crossfire, single player campaign.
Crossfire X Crossfire is really popular in Asia, I think.
Here's the question: do either of you actually know what Crossfire is?
It's a shooter.
It is. Have you ever played it?
No.
Oh, I have more experience on this topic than you two for the first time in my life.
Take it away. Take it away. Go, Kyle.
Take it away, Kyle.
You are right. Crossfire was essentially the original Crossfire. Anyway, was essentially a free-to-play version of Counter-Strike.
Right.
It was say Counter-Strike. Not the original. What was the second one? CS:GO? No, not CS:GO. What was the remake? You had Counter-Strike the original.
Mm-hmm.
And then, was it Counter-Strike 2, maybe?
I don't know. I thought CS:GO was...
CS:GO was the updated version. You had the original Counter-Strike, and then you had like an updated graphics version.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially, it was free to play.
Counter-Strike Next Gen, or you had Online 2 or Tactical Intervention.
No, it was just. I think it was just. Was it Counter-Strike 1.6, something like that?
Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
That's the new one.
That's the Go one, yeah.
I think it was 1.6. I think it was the same game, but it was basically updated graphics. Either way, it was a free-to-play version of Counter-Strike, but instead of buying the weapons per round, you bought the weapons outside to to go into the match with. Kind of like Call of Duty in that sense, where
Yeah, like
you
Black
pick your
Ops and
loadout.
stuff where you had the buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was, as you said, it was popular with like the sort of the Asian market. It's massive over there. It was a PC only game, which is probably why you two have never played it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
At least I think it was PC only. I'm not too sure they might.
I think it was. Yeah, I think this is the first time it's come to console with Crossfire X.
Yeah.
But
nearly 2
Smilegate's
games.
behind it, I think. Is it Smilegate?
I don't know, but it started off as basically a free-to-play shooter, and then it had just loads of microtransactions in it. Notably,
Right.
the one where how I've always said, "Oh, always pick the female character because they've got a smaller hitbox," and you just laugh.
Yeah.
This is where that stems from, because it was a proven fact that your default character that you started with was a male, so you didn't have the option to pick a female character. The female character that you had to buy with real money to get the credits to then pay your gems or whatever they were, coins, to then spend, gave you an actual smaller hitbox because you were playing as a female. And that is where my
Genius.
years-long logic of play as a female, smaller hitbox actually comes
Fair
from.
enough. All right, it makes sense now.
It was
Do you
such a
reckon they're
weird
ready
game.
to-
I can understand why the single player failed, because I think I played Crossfire X once. Because Crossfire, after a while, became more of instead of just a team deathmatch or search and destroy kind of game, they implemented like a zombie mode,
Right.
which was wave defense against zombies, and then they had like a sort of a raid kind of thing where you go in against X amount of terror. The old arcade games where you used to put in like £2, like Time Crisis or something like that.
Time
Yeah.
Crisis, House
Yeah.
of the Dead.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was like that, but on the game version. So you go in with 3 lives, and if you lose them, that'd be it. And it'd be like
That
a sort of
reminds
raid.
me
It
of
actually sounds pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie.
what was there was a free-to-play game on the PlayStation, and you kind of like dropped in on a planet side too.
Yes, I remember PlanetSide.
Didn't you pay for respawns in that game?
You could. Yeah,
You had like a regenerative respawn over time. So say you'd be able to respawn once every 90 minutes, but you had a stock of say 10. But it didn't go past the cap of 10. So if you were playing all day, you used all your respawn. Like literally, you get shot, you die, you respawn. That's one gone.
Yeah.
You could pay to increase the cap, and you could pay for more drop pods, which was your respawns. I'm pretty sure it's PlanetSide 2. It might have been something else though. I might be wrong.
PlanetSide 2 also had ones where you could buy certain vehicles.
Yeah.
And one of the vehicles was like a respawn wagon.
Yeah.
You could pay to basically, instead of farming for like a month to get this respawn wagon, you could just pay to get it instantly. Drive it over there, park it, and then you'd get experience points based on how many people respawned using your wagon type thing.
It's wild.
Anyway, yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
massively off topic. I just thought it's funny to talk
Oh,
about
no,
something
not
that
really.
you guys are like, huh? And I'm like,
It's
yeah,
not.
I know everything about this game.
It's not off topic at all. That's genuinely good insight. Yeah, I think.
Do you reckon they're capable of handling so many projects? And we're looking forward to
No.
any of them.
I've seen what
No.
Crossfire X was and what Crossfire was. No.
Yeah. I've just looked it up. Smilegate was behind Crossfire X's multiplayer. Remedy was behind the single player only. However, the single player was just as poorly received. It was bad. And then there's
I think Crossfire X, sorry to interrupt, was worse
Hey,
than the original Crossfire, because I think instead of buying the weapon and that was it permanently, it went on to one of those like time-based rental systems
Oh,
where
dear.
you could play the game and earn a certain amount of credits, and then you could buy a maximum of 30 days for a certain gun.
Ooh.
And I don't even think you had the
Isn't there like
option.
3 guns available or something ridiculous like that?
Yeah, I don't think you had the option to even pay for the weapon permanently.
Ooh.
I think that's the game I'm thinking of, but there's a lot of that are very similar.
There is indeed. I'm looking forward to the Max Payne remasters. I enjoyed the original Max Payne. Especially, well, apart from that weird baby blood trail maze thing, that was odd. Because Max Payne seemed to be bigger than the walk that you had to go on. So one little slip and you were falling off. But,
I remember seeing that in like a
should be
random
fun.
video. I love Alan Wake.
Control should also be good because Control 1 was a decent game. I quite enjoyed it.
I recently played Control. I tried to play it a while back, 2020, I think, about a year after it came out. And I couldn't get into it. I got about an hour in. I was like, this isn't for me. But then I think it was at the end of last year. I tried it again, and then I ended up just going all the way through and getting the platinum trophy for it. Because for some reason, I was just like, this game's awesome, and I have no idea why I couldn't get into it before because it's so good.
I mean,
And
the
it's so
story wasn't
interesting.
very gripping right at the start, though, was it?
No, it was a bit slow at the start, but when it got into it, I think that's when it clicked for me. I was like, shit, this is really good writing. This is like excellent sci-fi.
Yeah.
Have you played Control, Carl? I don't know.
I don't think so, no.
Wasn't it? It was a PS Plus game, wasn't
It's a PS Plus game, so you
Yeah.
may well have it in your
Which one
library.
was Control?
How do you describe Control?
Oh
It
yeah,
had
it's on
the
there. Yeah, it's the kind of
aliens that can turn into things that look like normal things.
yeah, like you
yes.
have a gun or you have like these weird powers to
Yeah, that's the
throw
one.
people around and random ghost like things just pop up randomly, like you're walking around
Yeah.
a factory or office at the start.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the killer fridge.
Killer Fridge, which was really fucking cool. Like, oh, it's so cool. Maybe not to fight it. That was a bit of a bitch, but the whole premise of Control was awesome.
Men in Black, basically. Let's go with
Yeah, it's
that.
Men in Black. It's like 18 plus Men in Black.
Men in Black meets Infamous.
Yeah, I really underestimated like the psychic powers in Control as well. I was like, the throwing things a bit shit. I'll just use the gun. But then I started to develop the powers, and I was like, actually, picking up loads of stuff and picking up enemy dead bodies and flinging them at people is awesome. And then when you unlock the levitate ability and the ground pound, my god, oh yes, ground pounding all day, every day.
All right.
Control was so good. I was shocked at how good it was because I'd put it down and never even thought to go back to it. And it's only by chance because it was a PS Plus game that I thought, oh, it's in my library. I'll give it a go again.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you didn't finish it, Kyle.
No, I got probably about 4 hours maybe into the game, and then I just sort of stopped playing it.
Yeah. I think I got to the bit where you're facing yourself. Spoilers.
That was hard.
Yeah, I gave up there because I kept getting absolutely annihilated.
Yeah, I quickly realised that you just can't use your psychic powers against that. You just got to use the gun. And when I figured that out, I finally did it. And to be fair, you're not far off the end of the game then, Parky.
Yeah, I'm quite close.
Is it not like Elden Ring where you can kind of cheese the mimic tears by just removing all your armor before the fight and then
Walking in
not.
naked, and then you get one hit damage from the boss.
Sadly not. It's spoilers, so block your ears for a few seconds if you don't want to know. You're in like a mirror dimension. So you just fight yourself, but for some reason your mirrored version is more powerful than you. But that's all I'll say.
Mimic tier plus 10.
Mimic tier plus 10. Yeah. It's excellent. I was going to say something else. Max Payne, shockingly, never played.
Yeah, definitely. I would say wait for the remaster, see if it's any good, and then get it. The first Max Payne was amazing. Second one was okay, not terrible, but the story was a bit backwards. But yeah, the first one was great.
I've written
definitely
remaster here. It's actually remakes, so apologies for that. I think I did write remake up above. Yeah, I did, but I've mistakenly put remaster second.
Remake, I'm probably looking forward to a little bit less, but still, if they can keep the old, because it's all about bullet time jumping and killing things as fast as you can to get through, because you get like a golden gun mode where you get one hit, but then they also get one hit, and then there's a timer as well, and you can just run through this as fast as you can, and it was absolutely insane. So as long as they keep that premise, man, I'll be happy with that.
See, I know all about Max Payne. I've obviously seen bits of Max Payne. I've just never played it, and I have no reason why. Interestingly, when you mentioned bullet time, it reminded me that I only recently realised that the Remedy logo is a bullet.
Yeah.
I never noticed that before. But anyway, that's just a random useless fact. Fulham.
What about you,
So-
Carl? You looking forward to any of them?
Not particularly. I haven't really played them enough. I'm aware of them, but I never played them. So
Fair enough. So that
But
brings
if
us on
you-
to game releases.
Oh god, have we
Game
there
releases
already?
coming up. We got 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim on the Switch, April 12th. Back 4 Blood, Tunnels of Terror DLC. PC, PS5, Series X, PS4, Xbox One. Also on the 12th. By Ota.
Iota?
BIOTA PC. Same date, going all the way down. Planet Zoo, Wetlands Animal Pack DLC. Sounds exciting. Eurogun. Abyss, both on PC. Abyss coming out on April 14th. Bush Hockey League on the Switch, April 14th. Cat Cafe Manager.
hell yeah.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what? I might buy it for the Switch just for the lols. Definitely not because I really secretly want this game.
Same with you.
PC and Switch, April 14th. Crime Site, PC, April 14th. And then you've got Tormented Souls on the Switch. That should be a good game. It actually looked okay when I saw a trailer. Also on the 14th. And the Taito Milestones on the Switch as well, coming out on the 15th. And that brings us to it. We're here at the end of the podcast.
We are.
Fabulous.
Abelus. Any closing comments from you guys?
Play Crossfire. No, just kidding. Don't do that.
What the new one?
No, the old one, the
Oh,
original.
no.
Don't tell me anything. No, Kingdom Hearts 4.
Kingdom
Hearts
Hearts
4.
4.
Drops mic.
Yeah, that's it. We'll pick it up again in 2024. Q3.
Yeah.
When it's released.
When it's released, yeah.
Well, I guess
No,
that
when we get our
brings us.
first bit.
That brings
Hang
us
on a
to
minute. Hang on a minute. My closing comment.
the
is-
We don't care about you and your badminton,
Yeah.
Stu.
No, thanks. Damn it. Play. I fancy up Narami on your mobile.
I second this notion.
Yes, it's the only good mobile game in existence.
So when's
Fact.
when's the new Kingdom Hearts mobile game out, or has it not got a release date?
I have no. I'm going to assume at the same time as the mainline game because fuck time
Because
management.
yeah, they do tend to.
And it's gonna have some key plot detail that you need to play 4 hours into Kingdom Hearts to understand. But then if you don't play the mobile game all the way through, you won't understand 4 hours plus in Kingdom Hearts 4. That's how it's going to be set out. Guarantee it.
Yeah, you're going to meet all these new characters that are in the mobile game that you have no idea who they are unless you played it.
You're like, who the fuck is this? And then you'll carry on through the mainline game, and then all of them will be dead for some reason, and
To
they
be
all
fair, I
died
was
in the
like that
mobile
when I
game.
first saw Terra and that. I was like, who the hell are these people? Who is this
Who's
guy
this guy?
battering me in this really cool looking armor?
That does sound about right.
And then I did the lore check, and I was like, oh, this
Right,
makes sense
yeah.
now.
It's actually really important characters. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my
Well,
closing
alright.
comment.
Well, thank you again, guys. It's been
Thank
a
you very
pleasure as always.
It has.
Episode 10, double digits.
We made it
Yeah.
to the big time.
Been a pleasure. We'll see you next week. Same time,
Hopefully.
same place. All
Yeah.
going
Hopefully.
well with the world.
Yep.
Yes. It's been a pleasure.
It has.
Thank you both.
Thanks, gents.
Thank you. Goodbye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.